All right, so people keep asking me, Sunil, is there a recession coming or are we already in a recession? What about the big crash? And I want to make this video for you because it is extremely timely. As you know, there are a lot of stuff happening in the market, and I just want to go over with you and then at the end let you know what I am doing and what can you do to minimize the risk and what are the risks if you don't do anything about it. My name is Sunil Tulsiani, and in 2005, when I left the police force, I saw the real estate market keep going up. I mean, I couldn't, doesn't matter what I bought, it just kept going up, especially in 2006, 7, and closer to 8. It didn't matter if I bought condo, townhouse, a house, whatever I bought, it just turned into gold. I mean, I could have taken the city, province, areas where there are people, buildings, houses, or whatever, and threw a dart at it in the area and said, I'm going to buy that property. It just went up in value. So people were telling me, Sunil, there's about a crash coming. There's a crash coming. There's a crash coming. And I just didn't listen to people. I just bought pre-construction condos, pre-construction hotel condos and properties. And in 2008, there was a big crash and we lost millions. So from 2005 to 2008, I generated millions of dollars. Then I lost it all. And I've gone to the Canadian big crash in 1990 when I bought my first home in Canada in 1990, just before the crash occurred. So again, the property prices were going up and up and up, and I had the fear of missing out. And I finally said, okay, I'm going to buy it. And I bought it in 1990, and it crashed by more than 40 to 45% in Mississauga, where I bought my property. So we all know Fed in the United States has raised the interest rate by 0.75%. It's actually the biggest hike in about 27 years or so. And there are a lot of people worried. You know, main thing is, of course, they want to control the inflation. And how does that relate to Canada? We're definitely not different right now. We're basically following suit what America is doing in regards to raising the interest rate. Now, I want to tell you, when they raise the interest rate, I'm sure we all know this, but it really makes it really hard for many businesses, real estate investors, people who want to borrow money, people who have a line of credits, people who have any type of debts. It becomes really, really hard, especially if they're on, they have a line of credit floating debts, they have the credit card debts, and they have other loans that go up and down with the market than the fixed one. Even the fixed ones are getting really, really hard for you to do. I'm going to talk about that as well. So we know that inflation in the United States is 8.6% in about 40 years. That's crazy. Now, what's even crazier than that? The real inflation is not 8.6%. I mean, we all know real inflation is a lot more than that. I mean, just go look at your gas bill and look at your grocery bills and look at your restaurant bills. They're not up by 8.6% or even 9 or 10%. Some of it is like huge. I mean, in Canada, I remember before COVID, it was almost $1 per liter for gas, and now it's over $2. That's over 100% increase. And you look at just look at anything that you're buying that you need. It's not. But let's just go with the 6.8% because that's the official rate that we have in Canada, and 8.6 is official in the USA. So what's next? Well, is the inflation expected to keep going up until we find out? And the answer is, in my view, inflation should be still going up despite the fact they've raised the interest rate. And are the interest rate expected to go up? And the answer is absolutely yes. We all know that. The entire Canadian government and the US government and every expert is telling us the interest rate is going to go up. They're not even hiding that. It's going to go up. We know it's going to go up. You see, just like 4 months ago in the United States, for example, whatever the interest rate you were getting, which was about 3% or so for 30-year AM, now you're paying about 6%. It's double the interest. Imagine you bought a property for $400,000, $500,000, $800,000, and now your interest rate is double in just 4 months. What is that going to do? And it's no different in Canada. We're pretty similar to that. Obviously, Canada hasn't hiked the latest. They've hiked 3 times already, but they're going to do and match, in my view anyways, match the US hike that happened at 0.75%, and that should be happening in July of 2022. So right now, what should you be doing? Bank of Canada, we know, is going to raise interest rate. We know it's coming. We know that the real estate market, businesses, and other companies that rely on getting loans are going to be impacted. It's just the way it is. So I'm going to talk about real estate because obviously you see cryptocurrency, stocks, mutual funds, bonds, and all these things. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I mean, that's not what I'm expert in. What I'm talking about is real estate. And everything that I'm saying in real estate, you do your own due diligence and figure out what should you be doing. But I'm going to give you some of the things that I'm thinking behind the scenes, and some of my friends are thinking behind the scenes, and some of the millionaires and multimillionaires and experts are thinking behind the scenes. Right now, should you be buying properties? Are the property prices going to drop? Is there a crash coming? And the answer is, in my view, we're probably going to have one of the biggest crash, if not the big crash, that we ever had in Canada, as well as similar to the United States. What we had in 2008 United States and what we had in 1990 in Canada, we're looking at that level of crash, if not more. In Canada, officially we crashed about 33 to 37%, but there were different areas that crashed even more, 40% and even 45% in some of the areas. In the United States, similar numbers, but some areas they crashed by 50, 60, 70% in the United States. Now, one of the things to understand is that if people don't have proper jobs, that doesn't have the income, and you look at it for last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, has your income gone up by 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%? And have some of the prices like gas and all that, have they gone up? Have your gas bills gone up? Have they gone up by 8% or 6%? Of course not. They've gone up a lot more than that. So the point is, if people bought properties that they were getting mortgages at 2.5%, 2.8%, less than 3%, and now it's going to be 5% or even more as the time comes along. How are they going to afford paying $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 every month extra that they didn't account for in mortgage payments only? In addition to that, they have to pay for the inflation issues, which is the cost of living, cost of surviving has gone up like crazy. So they have to pay for that. They have to pay for the mortgage rates that are going up, and every month some people just cannot afford that. And now people who are thinking of buying properties right now, they're obviously taking into account the current interest rates or the interest rate that are coming soon that are supposed to go up to the next level. So they're going to think about, if I could afford a house for $1 million in Toronto, you can't anymore because you may not be able to afford paying $500, $600, $700 more every month on mortgage, plus the property taxes, plus the cost of living that has gone up through the roof. How are people going to be able to do that? They're just not going to be able to do that. And what that means is there, in my view, is a crash coming. And again, no one has a crystal ball. Nobody knows for sure. But there are a lot of indications that shows that there's a crash coming. And during crash, there's definitely financial devastation. There are people who lose everything they work for. I did that in 2008 myself. I lost everything that I had worked for, lost completely everything. In 1990, when I bought my condo for about $125,000, it went down to about $80,000. That's a huge drop, close to 40-45% drop. And thank goodness I only had one, and I just kept it. And it took me so many years for the market to come back to the price of that condo. I think it was like 8 or 9 years before I saw that condo come back to that price before it went above that. But there are a small group of people, which is what I did in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, and onwards, is that I figured out how can I generate millions of dollars when the market crashes? How do you get financing? How do you find good deals at that time? Because deals become very easy, and the FOMO is reversed. Fear of missing out is from the people who want to now sell it. Because what do they fear? They fear the fact that today they can't sell this property and the interest rates keep going up and market keeps crashing, that they cannot sell the property even at this lower price range. So they may have to sell it for a lot less than that. So that's the fear the sellers have, and that's good for the buyers as it makes sense. So I truly hope you figure out what should you be doing right now. Should you be buying pre-construction condos? Should you be buying negative cash flowing properties? Should you be buying properties at the prices that you have been thinking about buying in the last month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? And make sure to do your numbers. Make sure you know the extra cost, not only for mortgage, but the extra cost of property taxes. If you bought a property that is a lot higher, maybe the property taxes has gone up, the insurance has gone up. Just do your due diligence on numbers and know this. If you're buying based on the fact that the property is going to go up and you're hoping that the market doesn't crash, or you're in a big surprise, right? In fact, you're in a big surprise right now, because there are properties right now in GTA, Greater Toronto Area, across Canada and United States. There are areas that properties are not selling the way they were. In fact, property prices have come down. There's a property in my area which has come down more than 15% already, and still there are no buyers, because the buyers have to now end up qualifying the strict qualifications from the bank, higher interest rate and higher cost of living, higher inflation, and the expectation of interest rates to keep going up in the near future, which brings the prices for real estate down. Remember, during COVID, interest rates were basically zero. It was nothing. That's why the market went up. Now, if you raise the interest rate, the reverse is also true. So I want you to not think about buying anything based solely on appreciation. Now, you should never do that, but during this time, it's even worse, buying properties that you're thinking is going to go up in value and buying properties that produce negative cash flow. I had somebody who told me they bought a condo, 2-bedroom condo in Toronto recently for $1.2 million with guaranteed negative cash flow of about $800 to $1,000. Guaranteed. That is based on today's interest rate. What if 6 months down the road, interest rates go up by the time they close? And if they close, let's say 6 months from now, and interest rates have gone up by 1 or 2%, that is going to be disastrous for them. And a lot of people will not be able to afford it. They're not going to be able to buy it. And that is what we're going to have in the near future. Once again, no one on the planet knows 100%. But what I'm sharing with you is things from behind the scenes, from some of the experts, some of the investors, some of my friends, and what I'm doing. Believe me, I'm not buying negative cash flowing properties. I'm not buying properties that are pre-construction right now, and I'm not buying properties hoping that it's going to keep going up. Do whatever it takes to educate yourself, network with the right people, and learn what do you do when the big crash comes, because big number of people lose money. Small group of people generate more money than they have ever in their entire life. I hope this video is valuable to you. If you liked it, please like it, subscribe it, hit the bell button, whatever you need to do. And I'm going to be making some extra videos during these uncertain, crazy times. I want you to be an informed investor, intelligent investor, and person who's going to think twice before they bet their money on any type of investment in today's market. Can you make money in today's market? Absolutely. You know, for example, if you buy properties that are short-term, buy, fix, and flip, you can make money. You can make money if you buy properties below market value. This is what I teach my students. You know, you buy properties that are below market value. So even if the market comes down, you have that safety net. So there are things that you can do. Make sure you educate yourself and get some financial education. All the best to you. God bless. Take care.